Hi, so I'm going to show you guys all the different steps that I go through to clean my budgie's birdcage, and I do this about 1 to 2 times a week. So the first thing I do normally is I open up the top of the cage so that they can feel free to come out. Sometimes they get a little bit scared when I clean and move around and shake the cage, so I open it up so that they can watch from a distance without getting too scared. So I'm going to show you all the different parts that I clean and basically all the different steps and what I normally start with other than opening up the cage. So I take out all the parts that I need to clean outside of the cage, so a lot of their perches, ladders, some of their toys, and then at the end I take out the catching trays at the bottom. So now that I've got everything out of the cage that I want out of the cage, I have them just piled up here on the floor. I'm going to go ahead and start wiping down the inside of the cage where there's any leftover food, poo, anything like that that needs to come out. To do this, I'll generally just use a cheap broom and pail that I bought from the dollar store. This is a putty knife that I bought online. You can get them, at any home improvement store. This one's about 1.5 inches long. Again, small enough that I can fit inside the cage. And I actually use this to scrape off any of the dried poop that might be on the perches. So now I'm going to take a wet cloth. I'm using a J cloth here, and I'm going to start wiping down some of the perches. I make sure the cloth is pretty wet. It helps to soak it a bit, and you can get out most of the stains that are inside there. And then I'm going to use the same cloth, and I'm also cleaning the bottom part where you can see a lot of the poo sticks to the side, the insides here, all that kind of stuff that tends to collect pretty easily after a few days. So now that I've cleaned most of the inside, I'm going to take all this stuff that I took out at the beginning, their perches and their toys and stuff, and I'm going to take it to the sink and wipe them down with the cloth. There's something in particular that I have to clean, and maybe not every budgie owner needs to deal with this, but one of my birds in particular likes to use mirrors quite a bit. He loves to see his reflection. They think that it's other birds and they're very sociable. But the difference is that he likes to try and feed himself, or feed his reflection rather. So his mirrors tend to get very dirty, full of his regurgitated food. So those are just, this is actually maybe about 3 days worth. So they get dirty pretty quickly. I'll generally take out the mirrors every other day and clean them because he can't really see himself very well in this. Okay, so now that all the toys and perches have been cleaned and are drying, I'm going to take the trays that I pulled out earlier and I'm going to put them outside in the compost, since it's just food and newspaper. And then I'm going to wash them by hand and put new pieces of newspaper on top. You could also use a paper towel or anything that would be compostable would probably be the easiest thing. So now that I've got my trays that are cleaned and with new pieces of newspaper, I'm gonna have to just quickly wipe down again the inside, because while I was doing all that, they obviously pooed and ate and made a mess. So I'm just gonna do another quick wipe, and then I can put the trays back in and start placing all the rest of the stuff back inside. his favorite toy. His favorite toy. And now for their favorite part, I've got one of their favorite treats here for them. You can already see queso. I'm very excited about it. Parsley. So I'll usually hang those up with some paper clips, not paper clips, but those thick kind of paper clips. Or I just leave it there and they go at it like that. So that's about it. That's a pretty big deep cleaning in my opinion. I would do that once a week, and then for the second time during the week I would maybe just take out the trays, empty out all the birdseed and poo that falls, and maybe just use my scraper to scrape off some of the poop from the perches and you know, refill their food and water. But other than that, for a cleaning like this probably takes me about 30 minutes, and then for the second cleaning during the week I just take about 10 minutes to wipe everything down really quickly. And I think it makes them pretty happy. Right, Quesito?